Welcome, friends. Tonight's story takes us to the darkest part of the hills of Tennessee. I would also like to ask that you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed, and hit that notification bell so you know the second I put new content out. Now, turn the lights out, sit down, cozy up, and don't mind that noise you just heard downstairs. Are you ready? Scary Stories from a Railroader, Volume 4, The Dark Hills of Tennessee. This story happened when I was working the 150-mile line between Nashville and Chattanooga, Tennessee. I was working on a local run called the Cowan Pusher. With the mountain grade starting at Cowan and basically going all the way to Chattanooga, it can be a difficult stretch of railroad. I had the third shift on the Cowan Pusher. It was all I could hold even if I didn't enjoy working nights. We basically just sat in the shop and waited to be called to help heavy tonnage trains get to Sherwood, Tennessee. Now all I can say about Sherwood is picture the hills have eyes, but add banjos. On the night in question, it was about 11:50 p.m. when a heavy freight train stopped over at Sherwood and requested our help. We climbed on the engines and got on our way. By the time we hit South Cowan and started curving up the foot of the mountain, we had no visibility of anything that wasn't illuminated by the locomotive light. We had a 30-minute ride ahead of us, along with a 2-mile-long dark tunnel in our path. As the clock struck midnight, we were now in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by woods filled with wolves, rattlesnakes, and a few mountain folks. Most of the mountain folk are nice, but don't let the sun set on your ass in those woods. About 10 minutes later, the north portal of the tunnel was in sight. A bridge overhung the entrance. A branch line that was taken up long ago crossed over it to go to another part of the mountains. The bridge is still accessible by ATV. As I looked up, I saw a campfire and people. They all looked to be dressed darkly, maybe even in masks. All I could see was white in the faces. As we started under the bridge, we heard a thud over our heads on the locomotive roof. We proceeded through the dark tunnel and slowed just out of the south portal as the conductor looked out the back door with his flashlight. He saw nothing, so we shrugged our shoulders and proceeded on the last 10 minutes to our waiting train. It was 12:20 a.m. as we coupled onto the rear of the train to push it from Sherwood. As the engineer on the head end entered the south portal of the tunnel, he radioed back to me, talking about figures standing over the entrance. However, no one was there as it came in my sight. As we exited the north portal, I looked to the best I could see on my side of the tracks for whatever had hit our roof. I saw what looked like a black cloak fluttering in the wind as we passed, but I really couldn't tell. As we entered Cowan, we uncoupled on the fly and the train continued on to Nashville. We cruised into our parking track and tied our engines down. As we got off, we had the feeling of being watched, but we thought nothing of it, and we went and parked our asses in the office chairs. We had no more work for the rest of our shift. We talked and napped on and off till about 3 a.m. We never did shake the feelings of being watched. So we stepped outside as I put a pinch of dip in my lip and my conductor lit a cigarette. As we both bullshitted with each other, we noticed movement in the brush across the tracks. Now I must remind all of you that both my conductor and myself are big country boys and we don't scare easy. We went over to investigate. We found 3 hooded men in the bushes. With a huge spit of my tobacco, I asked them, "What the fuck do you guys think you're doing here? You understand you're trespassing on railroad property, right?" The lead guy then spoke up in a demonic, gravelly tone.
"We just want what's ours."
We looked to see a young man on the roof of the locomotive at the air horn. The young man was in nothing but underwear, and as we all looked at him, he bolted off the roof and climbed down and ran down the tracks. As this happened, the figures turned to chase. The lead guy then turned his head back towards us with glowing eyes that we can now see. He stared for seconds that felt like minutes. Then he gave chase with his friends. We called the police. After hours of investigation, they found the man's underwear. No traces of him or cloaked individuals. We even took them up to the mountain. Cops love free train rides. There was nothing. Now on occasion we find dead animals by the shop door, a locomotive mutilated. I've even found one or two at my door at home. We still occasionally see that fire on the bridge and get the feeling of being watched. But it's all gone by the time we return. There's a cult somewhere on that mountain. Alright guys, that's our story for tonight. I hope you enjoyed. Hope you got a little freaked out. But that's all I got. And I will see you guys next Saturday. Thanks guys.